Greetings, my fellow freedom lotus sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LO3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the wonderful and wild Mountain State. Should be the other way around to be exact. And today's date is Thursday, October 8th, 2020. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one pretty brief as well. But a lot of interesting stuff has been going on. People still are prepping up for any potential insurrection or civil war, whatever you want to call it. And I don't blame them for one bit. So this one here is pretty disturbing. And it came from naturalnews.com. And this was here. Trump administration to cut deal with Purdue Pharma, shielding Sackler family from criminal liability over opioid crisis. And this was written by Ethan Huff. And it says here, when it comes to America's opioid crisis, which is especially problematic in states where cannabis remains illegal, the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma is mostly to blame for all the death and destruction. But thanks to the DOJ, the Sacklers are getting off mostly scot-free despite their crimes against humanity. In exchange for agreeing to pay out $3 billion in damage to opioid victims, a drop in the bucket compared to the obscene profits they ranked in from opioid sales, the Sacklers will face no criminal liability whatsoever under negotiations with the Trump Department of Justice. According to reports, the sweetheart deal will more likely also protect the Sacklers from any future liability related to opioid death, of which there already been some 500,000 in America alone. One attorney familiar with the case and discussed it with this is where headed told the New Yorker that criminal liability is not something that should be sold. The same attorney added that it should not depend on how rich they are, referring to the Sacklers, and that it is not right for the Trump administration to give them special treatment. If you're unfamiliar with the history of the Sackler family and their Purdue Pharma empire, the New Yorker provides an excellent background as to how they strong-armed their way into the pharmaceutical market by pushing strong opioids on the American public. Despite long-standing fears among physicians that opioids were dangerous, habit-forming, and potentially life-threatening, the uber-wealthy Sacklers. Oh, school. I was saying Shacklers. Sorry about that. It's Sackler. Okay, interesting here. Looks like they say Sacklers here. So now Stacklers. Come on, make up your mind. Good grief. Where is it at? We're successful in getting the drug approved. First with Oxycontin or oxycodone. Ooh. I know a friend of mine in my who was a Union stagehand died from that. He had a lot of bad pains. That same year, Purdue unleashed an aggressive marketing blitz, and why not? Seeing as how the United States, unlike most other countries, tolerates direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical marketing, that very quickly got millions of Americans hooked on opioids. The Sacklers claim in their false advertising that opioids were both safe and effective for a variety of ailments. They further insisted that fewer than 1% of patients suffer from resulting addiction due to their use. Why is Trump cutting deals with the very swamp creatures he promised to eliminate? All of this turned out to be fake news, of course, leading to countless ruined lives and a drug epidemic that has yet to be remedied. Though, again, states that have legalized cannabis are seeing massive declines in opioid and other related forms of substance abuse. Nevertheless, the Trump administration, shielded by a seemingly endless circus of left-right ballyhooing, is getting away with literal murder as it cuts a secret backroom deal with the Sacklers, allowing them to escape justice and continue raking in the dough on the backs of innocent people's lives, according to New York Attorney General Liability James, OxyContin is the taproot of the opioid epidemic. A study compiled by a team of esteemed economists also found that in states where the drugs was heavily used by the Sacklers with false advertising, drug overdoses were markedly higher than in the states where the drug were not as heavily promoted. The study concluded that the introduction and marketing of OxyContin by the Sacklers was responsible for a substantial share of overdose deaths over the last 2 decades, and yet the Trump administration is now working with the Sacklers to keep them protected from being accountable for destroying the lives of millions of Americans. This deal sets a disastrous precedent of officially anointing a separate system of justice for the 1%, warns Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the chairman of the board and chief legal counsel for Children's Health Defense. This is a gangster family that knowingly killed thousands of American children for profit. And there's a sources you can look at here too, including the New Yorker. Well, just to let you folks know, I am not a Trump worshiper, but I'm highly critical on what the hell is going on with this disturbing matter. The truth and the fact is this: I voted no on William Barr for being Attorney General because he is a dirty dealing individual that loves big government. Plain and simple. He's part of that little clique firm. I don't know if I've got the name on the top of my head, unfortunately, but it's the same pattern. I don't follow hype. That's how you gotta look at it. This is why I support recreational marijuana, medical marijuana. One thing about the whole thing about medical marijuana, which I talked about this in the past many years ago, that you always expect the GMO brand to be funded to be government run, supposedly. So you always got to be aware of these areas. And I had a friend of mine too that got into a bad accident on the job, and they were giving him some OxyContin, and I'm like, good grief. And of course, he had his beer, didn't really help out, and he did pass away while sitting on the sofa. And that's why I was never a big fan of the psychotropic drugs or big pharma. Gonna drain the swamp? You can't just rely on President Trump. We gotta do it ourselves. And this is why I always recommend natural remedies to solve a lot of pains. There's great information out there, folks. So please, I encourage every single one of you to get more informed. Get natural remedies that will do a better job than opioids or any other pharmaceutical prescription pills or drugs. Okay? And that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media network. If you have any questions, comments, or you send something that's interesting you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to Decorum. Furthermore, I'll leave this footnote on my Spreaker page. If you want to do a donation, you can hit me at paypal.me/LokiLuck3. If you want to email me, you can hit me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com. Or you got a ProtonMail account, LokiLuck03@protonmail.com. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.